Good afternoon, and welcome to our 2016 Service Awards celebration. For those of you who don't know me, I'm John Poma, and I'm the head of Human Resources at William & Mary. It's my true privilege to be here today to thank each and every one of you for your vital service to the College of William & Mary. Collectively, we are recognizing 3,230 years of service today. So even by William & Mary standards, that's pretty amazing. There is also no more special day in the life of the head of HR than a day like today. Every day, in every corner of this university, I'm struck by the amazing staff that we have at William & Mary. Our employees are dedicated, they're hardworking, they're committed, and most importantly, they're caring. We're a great university and a great place to work because of each of you. Day after day and year after year, you keep the university glued together. You conquer a zillion tasks each day that keep us right side up and moving forward. And if you're like my staff in Human Resources, they sometimes like to make sure, or maybe even more than sometimes, that I know who really keeps this place running. Through good times and bad, through snowstorms, ice storms, hurricanes, William & Mary staff carry on. Often, with very few resources to get the job done, you keep working to make this a very special place. We are deeply grateful for what you do for our students, our faculty, our campus, and our communities. You are all a very important part of the William & Mary family, and you are so much appreciated. We will begin today's program by recognizing those celebrating 5 through 25 years of service with William & Mary. When you hear your year of service called, please stand and be recognized. You will then pick up your certificate and gift at the appropriate year table in the Tidewater Ballroom after the ceremony. So let's begin with those who are celebrating their 5th anniversary. Will you please stand? We thank each of you for your years of service. For those who are celebrating their 10th anniversary, please rise. We thank you for your decade of service to William & Mary. For those who are celebrating your 15th anniversary, please also rise. We thank you for your dedication to William & Mary. And for those who are celebrating their 20th anniversary, please stand. And we thank you for your 2 decades of service to this university. So thank you so much to all of you for your dedicated service to William & Mary. We're going to move on and celebrate those who have more than 25 years of service at William & Mary. So for those of you who are celebrating 30 years, I missed. I can't count by 5. I was anxious to get to the 30. Didn't quite cover, but for those of you who are celebrating your 25th anniversary, please stand. And we thank you for your more than 2 decades of service. All right, now 30. So those of you who are celebrating 30 years of service, please stand and come forward to your left and to my right, and we'll attempt to organize you alphabetically as best as possible. You will receive your certificate, I'll shake your hand, and then you'll move across the stage to have a photo taken with Provost Halloran, and Sam Jones. You would then pick up your gift after you exit the stage. So much has changed in 30 years. When many of you started at William & Mary, Paul Verkyle was in his first year as president of the college. Chicago Bulls' Michael Jordan was named Rookie of the Year in the NBA. New Coke debuted, and the song "We Are the World" played over and over and over to help for the important raise famine relief in Africa. First, we'll recognize Christy Arntz. Anita Forrest. I don't need this certificate. Kathy Morgan.
Thank you.
How you doing? Gloria Todd. And Beverly Tyler. Oh, Beverly, how are you? Congratulations, thank you. All right, we now will recognize those who are celebrating 35 years of service. So with those of you who have 35 years, please approach the stage as the folks did for the 30 years. When many of you started at William & Mary, President Tom Graves was entering his 10th year as president of the college. 52 Americans were still being held hostage in Iran. Former governor of California and B-movie actor Ronald Reagan defeated incumbent President Jimmy Carter. Mount St. Helens erupted, and 3M began selling Post-it notes. Imagine a world today without Post-it notes. 35 years, this is incredible. Ruth Ashby, Facilities Management. Joanne Barnes, The Marketplace. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you. Wanda Carter, Graduate Studies. Melinda Cook, Facilities Management.
How are you? All right, how are you? Oh.
John Cotman, Facilities Management. Kay Davis, Swim Library.
Thank you.
How are you? Congratulations, thank you. Annette Washington, Property Control. Sandra Wilms, Office of the President. So thank you to those with 35 years of service. We are so grateful for your commitment. So now let's celebrate 4 staff members who've worked at William & Mary for 40 years. To give a little context, Tom Graves was the college's 23rd president. The Vietnam War officially came to an end. Live from New York, it's Saturday Night Live premiered. The first truly disposable razor by Bic went on sale. The movie Jaws ruined many a summer vacations. And the nation prepared for the bicentennial by decorating everything in red, white, and blue. 40 years, 4 decades. It's truly impressive and amazing. So these 4 will be extolled by their supervisors in the following order. First, David Tidwell will be praised by Greg Shipp. Scott Fenstermacher will be regaled by Courtney Carpenter. Juanita Akels, who is not here, will also be recognized by Bob Mormon. And then finally, Mary Anderson will be celebrated by President Emeritus Tim Sullivan. So first up is David Tidwell and Greg Shipp.
Good afternoon. So David works in our facilities management department as a maintenance team supervisor. He started out at the ripe old age of 18 as a summer helper in the AC shop. Soon after, he was recruited into a full-time position as an HVAC assistant. The talent and dedication that he demonstrated led to a position as a full-time mechanic. In 1991, he was promoted to team supervisor, and he's been in that role since. David often talks about the challenges our campus faced during Hurricane Isabel, and coworkers said David worked tirelessly for several days straight, helping the campus recover even while his own family was displaced from their home for over 6 months. That does not surprise me. In my brief tenure of just over a year, I've seen his masterful skill at handling emergency situations. David takes great pride in working for William & Mary. He often refers to the students as his kids, and he's wholeheartedly dedicated to providing them and the faculty and staff a safe, comfortable place to work, live, and learn. So David, thank you for your selfless dedication. Thank you.
David. We thank you for your selfless dedication, David. Second up is Courtney Carpenter and Scott Fenstermacher.
So I don't know how old Scott was when he started working into college, but today is his birthday. So, we appreciate you scheduling this event around Scott's birthday. It's very nice. So Scott came to William & Mary in the mid-'80s as a systems engineer. Whoops, wait a minute. We're not on the right page. Thing. You know what? I got a backup copy that's more accurate. So Scott began his tenure with the college over at VIMS as an electronics technician. After spending years on the water keeping the shipboard electronics functioning properly, he came to the main campus in the mid-'80s as a systems engineer, where he worked on the university's growing communication hardware. Scott was instrumental in rolling out William & Mary's first campus-wide computer network in the early 90s. In the late 90s, he was promoted to network manager within the newly formed IT department. In that role and under his leadership, he has shepherded the college's network through numerous upgrades and now manages this critical resource with a team of 6. Many college operations are now totally dependent on the network being up and running 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. His dedication to the university extends well beyond his immediate responsibilities, often helping during hurricanes, floods, and power emergencies. Scott's willingness to assist knows no limits. He has been called on to repair troublesome scoreboards, finicky elevator phones, and has been helped in streaming a last-minute synchronized swimming match. You remember that one? Over the decades, Scott has kept pace with the fast-moving industry by constantly learning new technologies, equipment, and software. He always applies this knowledge, as well as his wonderful ability to solve problems, to the college benefit. Scott, thank you very much for your
back up with a piece of paper. Did not pull out this, and it would not be fair if we as a group did not sing happy birthday. Would everybody please stand?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Scott. Happy birthday to you.
And I made sure to back away from the microphone because of the birthday present. He would not want us to hear me sing. Scott, we thank you so much for your service. Next, Bob Mormon. Would you recognize Juanita Akels, please?
Good afternoon. Miss Juanita couldn't be with us this afternoon. I call her Miss Juanita. To her family and friends that she's worked with for 40 years, she's just Mama. Juanita started working here at the college in 1980. She told me that she came here from Eastern State, where she had started working in 1975. And when I asked her to remember a little bit about those earlier days, she said, "There's not much I want to remember." But she did tell me that the campus looked a lot different then. She said Williamsburg was a quiet little place. There wasn't much here except the college and Colonial Williamsburg. She said if you wanted to work, you had to work in one place or the other, and she chose the college. In those days, the residence life staff went in and cleaned the students' rooms and made their beds for them every day. After I got over my surprise, I asked her how that was even possible, since the rooms are usually occupied in the morning. And she looked at me with this rather quizzical look, and she said, "The kids were up early. They didn't have computers, so they went to class." That pretty much answered my question. So you might imagine that picture for just a moment. No computers, no cell phones, and house mothers in every hall. Almost makes you want to turn the page, doesn't it? Miss Juanita retired for the first time in the early 90s to care for her mother. When she returned to William & Mary in 1993, she worked the overnight shift at the law school. Then in 1998, the overnight shift was abolished, and she transferred over to the Williamsburg Child Care Center, where she has been a steadfast and joyful presence for the last 18 years. Juanita retired permanently from full-time work in the early 2000s, but she returned shortly after the second retirement as a part-time employee because she told me, "I just want to stay busy." She says, "I get home and I look at those walls and I just want to come back to work." Nowadays, whenever the subject of retirement comes up, I try to persuade her otherwise by telling her how big the hole in our hearts would be without her here. I'm sorry she's not here with us right now. Thank you.
So now it's time to recognize someone with 50 years of service. Oh, yeah, the script is a little, sorry, next up is President Sullivan and Mary Anderson.
Thanks. John, let me have the lectern here a minute, would you?
And there's nothing there.
First thing I've got to ask is, who hired you? The other thing I have to note, a lot is the same at the college, but there have been some changes, and one of them that I noted right here in this program was that Sam Jones has developed a sense of humor. Before I brag on Mary, which I will do in just a few words, though she deserves a whole book, I want to say something about all of you. Now, I served the college for 35 years in a variety of capacities and lived through most of the things that John has described. And I've worked with a great many of you. One of the nice things about coming to a program like this is, with the exception of the young whippersnappers, I know most of you. And it's wonderful to be here with you. Every word of praise is justified. All compliments are proper. But don't you think we should all recognize, and I include myself in this, what makes William and Mary really good is that all of us screw up from time to time, but we go on and make things better. That's the kind of the heart of the place. You can look at all these beautiful new buildings. You can attend the great ceremonies, commencement, opening, convocation, the homecoming parade. You can read in the William and Mary News about the magnificent achievements of our faculty and our students. And the one thing that this day marks, which needs to be remembered every day, is that all of those things are possible because of the work you do, because of your faith, your commitment, sometimes in the face of great challenges and discouragement, but your faith and commitment has allowed William and Mary in my lifetime, and that's beginning in 1962 when I came here as a freshman, in my lifetime to have been transformed from a wonderful small college to a great university that hasn't lost its soul and has retained its heart. So I say to you, those of you who are the heart and soul of this institution, that your achievement defies words. And I hope as you go back to work or retire whenever that comes, you'll realize how much you have done in the cause of a truly great place. This institution, the College of William and Mary in Virginia, owes you a debt that can never, ever be repaid. So thank you all for what you have done. Now, when I talk about the heart and soul of the College of William and Mary, I want to translate that into the heart and soul of the office of the president, which I haven't occupied for a good long time, but did for 14 years. And this lady served while I was president and during the era of Paul Verkyle, and before that, of President Graves. There's a picture that Jim Gleason, some of you will remember Jim, our official photographer, a man of great irreverence, who took a picture of us toward the end of my service and hers, because we left pretty much together. It's a picture of I'm sitting at my desk and she's standing beside me. We looked a lot better then, Mary. Well, I did. You did. You're the same. I don't. But I wrote on that picture to Mary Anderson, who is the very best of William and Mary. And those words were true. And they were true because standing next to me is a lady of integrity beyond imagining, a work ethic that is extraordinary, and a love for this place that can't be measured. And the last thing I will say, because being president is not always going off and shaking hands with celebrities. Sometimes you get your tail kicked around quite a bit. And sometimes you have to be nice to people you really don't want to be nice to. And you get discouraged, you get down. And with Mary at my side, knowing her loyalty, that discouragement never got terminal, and I found a way to recover. So Mary, for what you've done for the college, what you've done for me and 2 other presidents, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. So I've learned that sometimes you can plan your work, but you can't always work your plan. So now it's time to recognize our 50 years of service. Half a century of dedication to William and Mary. 50 years ago, Davis Young Paschal was the president, and Timothy J. Sullivan was just beginning his senior year. The Vietnam War was raging, and women's skirt lengths grew shorter and shorter as men's hairstyles grew longer and longer. It was an interesting time for our nation and at the college. Betsy Croswell, would you please come forward along with Joanne Taylor?
Okay. I was asked to speak on behalf of Betsy, or to acknowledge Betsy's time here, and at first I thought, wow, 50 years. I wasn't even thought of. So I got help from folks across campus to put together this wonderful acknowledgement of Betsy's time here. Betsy started serving the college in 1965, working with the Bureau of Business Research under Gib Jones. She later progressed to the MBA program, serving in various capacities such as the admissions officer, registration processor, class scheduler, in addition to being the graduate registrar of the MBA program. For years, she served as the face of the program. While the school had various faculty directors of the part-time MBA program, Betsy was a true leader running every aspect of that program. When the evening part-time program in Newport News was established, Betsy was concerned this group would be forgotten, out of sight, out of mind, and she made it a point to focus her attention on this group. She became the director of the evening MBA program, and she was correct to be concerned for these evening MBAs, and she was a strong and forceful advocate on their behalf. Betsy was just the right person in just the right position at just the right time, where she became synonymous with the institution. She was the heart and soul, indeed, a very incarnation of the MBA program for students. Betsy simply loved the MBA students and went out of her way to do whatever she could do to help them. She was fully and completely committed to her job, to students, to their progress. She was not a pushover, however. In fact, her consistent adherence to the highest of standards helped her earn their respect and admiration. She was their confidant and friend. Whenever they came back on campus for homecoming and other alumni events, or just passing through, she was the first person they wanted to see. In addition, Betsy was the compendium of information about all aspects of the MBA program, all the rules regarding students and the curriculum, all procedures, who was who both inside the school and around the college regarding administrative matters. She was a great resource for individual faculty, program heads, and deans. Betsy had the capability to take chaotic situations and turn them into a day in the park. First, she would calm everyone down, give her plan and marching orders, then she would execute the plan flawlessly. Her ability to calm a rioting crowd was amazing. Betsy is one of the most capable, efficient, and dedicated college employees. She is always willing and eager to undertake any task assigned to her, and whatever she does it very well. Betsy is also one of the kindest people you'll ever meet. Betsy treats everyone with respect, students, faculty, staff, and administration. Betsy retired in 2001 as the graduate registrar for the School of Business. But retiring from the School of Business did not keep Betsy away. She worked in the Office of Human Resources as a payroll leave technician from July 2001 to October 2004. During her time in HR, Betsy spent many hours double-keying leave slips to ensure that employees' times were accurately recorded. Betsy was a dedicated employee who took pride in her work. It was rare for her to miss any time from work and to leave any work undone. Her commitment to excellence was apparent each and every day. She was a team player, always willing to help out during busy times when help was needed. Betsy always made herself available to help on any project, big or small. When Betsy was involved, the job would surely be done and swiftly. Her attention to detail enabled her to excel in work, and her positive attitude was always welcome in the office. It is Betsy's dedication and hard work that sets her apart. Human Resources is proud to be a part of Betsy's 50 years story here at William & Mary. Betsy left the Human Resources Department and joined our team in the University Registrar's Office in 2004. She started off as an enrollment services assistant, and she's now a customer service representative. Betsy provides exceptional service in a timely and accurate manner to our students, parents, faculty, staff, and outside agencies, and the general public. She adheres to policies and procedures while having the best interests of each student. Her strong organizational skills, flexibility, the ability to work independently and as a team are exemplary. She's a hard worker, and she's very conscientious. These gifts aid our office in operating efficiently and seamlessly. Betsy has an extraordinarily keen eye for detail, and she brings that to everything she does. A few examples are verifying academic records that were transferred from the legacy system to what we use now, Banner, producing the students list for the commencement program that includes dissertation titles, honors, and prior institution, and validating official records as a notary public, and producing customized enrollment verifications. Think of how the world and William & Mary have changed in the past 50 years. It's remarkable to think of the generations of students she has served and the amount of institutional history she possesses. She is a great resource person and a trusted, experienced colleague, and we're all better for her years of service. Thank you, Betsy.
Betsy, thank you so much for your tireless dedication. We have one final presentation today. Guy Brown, will you please join me? Guy Brown has served William & Mary for 60 years. To give some context, in 1955, President Dwight D. Eisenhower was in his first term of office, and Alvin Duke Chandler was president of William & Mary. Trinkle Hall was where campus dining happened, and construction on the Commons would not begin for an additional 10 years. Guy has seen a great deal of history in his 6 decades of service to William & Mary. Guy Brown will be extolled and recognized by Sodexo's resident director, manager Jeff McClure.
Well, I'd first like to start off and say just wow. I've been in this business for a long time. I don't think I know anyone who's been in the business as long as Guy has. And he started his career in 1955, which really is over 60 years ago. He began as a dishwasher at Trinkle Hall alongside his brother, Reggie Crump, his future sister-in-law, Dolores, and also his wife, Gertrude, early in his William & Mary career. In the late 60s and 70s, Guy transitioned over to Commons Dining Hall, and he's still with us today, and he's coming back in September to help us some more. Through the years, Guy has developed many different culinary skills, has supported and mentored many different people throughout our operations, and just think of the thousands of students he has impacted over 60 years is just amazing to me. Guy has touched the lives of thousands of students, co-workers over the years. He still reports to work every day, early, always asking what needs to be done next. His level of commitment is as strong now as it was, I'm sure, in 1955. This past fall, William & Mary Dining Services created a Guy Brown Day on September 1st, and that'll live on forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Guy. 60 years. It's truly remarkable and a real dedication to the college. So thank you, Gary, and thank you, everyone, for your time this afternoon and for coming today. Each of you are truly the lifeblood that keeps William & Mary moving forward. One of the jobs I learned a long time ago of an MC is to know when you leave your audience before they leave you. Because Thomas Jefferson once said, remarks that live by the hour die by the hour. So with that, I invite you to please join us upstairs in the Tidewater Ballroom for a reception to celebrate these remarkable accomplishments of service. And supervisors, at some point during the reception, please meet with your award recipients for a photo in front of the backdrop upstairs in Tidewater. And remember, certificates and awards for those who celebrated 5 years through 25 years of service are in the Tidewater Ballroom on marked tables. So again, thank you to each of you for your service and for all that you do for William & Mary each and every single day. Thank you.